taken before the king with the 3 branches and the golden cup, and the 12 princesses stood listening behind the door to hear what he would say. The king asked him, "Where do my 12 daughters dance at night?" The soldier answered, "With 12 princes in a castle underground." And then he told the king all that had happened and showed him the 3 branches and the golden cup which he had brought with him. The king called for the princesses and asked them whether what the soldier said was true. And when they saw that they were discovered and that it was of no use to deny what happened, they confessed it all. So the king asked the soldier which of the princesses he would choose for his wife, and he answered, "I am not very young, so I will have the eldest." And they were married that very day, and the soldier was chosen to be the king's heir. Okay, kids, so that was today's story time. So,
Princess Momo, can you just read one more?
Well, I don't know. It's getting late, and your parents will be here soon to pick you all up. And
Please.
All right then, I guess. Why don't I read you one of my favorite fairy tales? It's not a very popular one, but it's really sweet. Here we go. The Singing Princess. Once upon a time, there was a powerful king with 12 daughters. All were known throughout the land for their beauty and magical abilities, each a specialty of their own. Far and wide, people spoke of the great feats they could achieve, such as the daughter who could spin straw into gold, or another who, with her tears, could cure blindness. Of all the 12 princesses, though, the most overlooked by the people and by her own father was the youngest. She could only communicate with animals by singing, and thus her father found little use in her. Polite and gentle, she never drew attention to herself and spent much of her time away from the castle, exploring the nearby forest, which was vast and full of dangers. The only companion this princess found amongst the people of the palace was a boy just her age, who was training to be one of the king's guard. When he was not learning the ways of the sword and how to be useful to the king, he and the princess would spend many hours talking or reading together, and in time, they were the very best of friends. One afternoon, when the boy was busy with training, the youngest princess decided that she would go into the woods to have a picnic with her animal friends. And so she packed a basket full of wonderful treats and, eluding her guard who lay sleeping outside her room, she set out into the forest. She had barely crossed the palace courtyard when from the sky flew the great dragon, the oldest and most feared dragon in the land. Setting down with a tremendous roar, he shouted to all who stood watch in terror. "I have come for this princess," he said. "Take heed and seek not after her, for any who do will surely meet their deaths at the hands of my ferocious flames." And with that, he scooped the youngest princess up with one clawed foot and flew off to his tower in the cold northern region. As they flew, the princess wept with fear. The air was freezing as it raced past her, and she feared she may fall at any moment. It was not until the dragon had carefully placed her in the tallest room of his stolen tower that she was able to collect herself and speak to him. "Why have you taken me away from my kingdom?" she asked, trembling at the sight of this ancient beast. The dragon curled himself around the outside of the tower and looked at her with one green and slitted eye through the only small stone window the room possessed. "I have been alone here for many hundreds of years, and I am lonely. Travelers spoke of a princess in the kingdom to the south who could converse with all manner of creatures, and so I thought to take you for myself. You will be my companion here until I see fit to release you." Tired from his journey, the dragon flew down to the base of the tower to rest, smoke billowing from his mouth with every breath as he slept. The princess watched him from the window and cried anew. "However shall I escape this fate?" Looking around, the princess felt hopeless. The tower room had only the small window, but no door with which to flee through, and she could not climb from the window, for it was far too high up. Exhausted from trying to find a way to return home, the princess lay down upon the very fine bed within the room and eventually fell into a deep sleep. Unbeknownst to her, the dragon soon woke from his nap and cast on her an enchantment while she slumbered, so that she would no longer remember anything about her life before coming to his tower. He was not by nature a cruel dragon, just terribly lonely, and he only wished for a friend. So from then on, with the enchanted princess, he conversed day and night, growing to care for her as she grew to care for him, like a grandfather. Her father, the king, barely noticed her absence as he was busy with wars and foreign affairs, and only through the urging of the kidnapped princess's sisters did he even attempt to rescue her by sending a small army of men to the north where the dragon's keep lay. These men were foolhardy and unskilled, and soon met their doom, not from the dragon, but from the freezing blizzards of the land. The boy, back at the palace, frustrated at his dear friend's situation, took forth his newly earned sword as one of the king's elite guard and chose to ride away to the north in the dead of night to save the youngest princess. He successfully braved the storms and sleet and snow with the aid of a magical owl that lived near the palace and who also longed for the princess's return. Alas, when he reached the dragon, however, he was no match for the ancient beast's flames and barely made it out of the keep alive, unable to reach the princess save for calling out her name. Returning defeated to the palace, he was banished for disobeying the king's orders, and thus he stole away to the forest to heal from his terrible wounds. For 5 long years, the youngest princess stayed locked up in the dragon's tower without any of her memories, until one day the dragon heard her sighing. "What is the matter, child?" he asked. "I love being here with you, oh great dragon, but I feel as though I am missing something very dear to me. I never feel at home, and at night I dream of people and places I do not know," she said, a single tear running down her cheek. Seeing how she suffered, the dragon had a change of heart. He lifted her gently in his claws and flew her all the way back to her kingdom, placing her down in a meadow just beyond the palace. "You are a princess of this land," he said, "and this is your true home. Go to your family, but promise you will not forget me for as long as you live." The princess promised and ran to the palace as quickly as she could. She was met with a joyous welcome from her sisters, and even her father was glad she had been returned. Many years passed for her happily living in the kingdom, until one night, after seeking to gather wildflowers in the forest, she found herself terribly lost. Tripping over tree roots in the darkness, she twisted her ankle. Scared and alone, she sought the aid of an owl, who brought to her a kind woodcutter who lived nearby. The woodcutter scooped her up to carry her to her cottage, where he might... Oh gosh, I'm sorry, kids. That sound means that the library is closing for today. I'm so glad you all came in, and I can't wait to see you for the next Storytime session.
Bye-bye.
Oh, bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, Miss Momo. I love you.
Oh, goodbye, Gabby. Thank you again, Mr. and Mrs. Garcia, for bringing her by. Yes, she's such a delight. Be safe. Goodbye, children. Oh boy, such a mess. Why did I let them have so many juice boxes? Ah, you again. Oh, I'm sorry, that sounded rude. I'm glad to see you back as a patron of the library. I hope you found what you were looking for today, but I'm afraid we have to close up now and... Help cleaning up? Oh, no, really, I'll be fine. I don't mind at all. In fact, I really like picking up after the kids. It's such a clear sign of life here when otherwise the library seems so... well, standing still in time, you know? That didn't make any sense. I'm sorry. But please, I'll be all right, really. I thought I heard my aunt saying that you were supposed to be tutoring my cousins tonight, so I don't want to hold you back. You're not? Did something happen? Oh, right. Tammy is in jail overnight. Daphne texted me something about that on my break, but I was too busy trying to get the juice stains out of my uniform. She, got caught up in a fight over... right, something to do with that arcade she likes. Scary. The situation, I mean, not Tammy. Okay, yes, Tammy is also really scary. Not as much as Daphne, but that's not really common knowledge. I'm talking too much. Anyway, I'm sorry you don't get to see them tonight. You all looked like you were really good friends when I ran into you at the mall. What was I buying? That's a secret. Don't worry about it. Just something fun. Or maybe stupid. We'll see. So I hope you have a good night then. I know I'm going to try and get going as soon as I can so I don't miss him. The book signing that's going on in that little coffee shop over there tonight. It's the guest, he's my favorite author, and it's really rare that he comes out in public, so... No way! You were just here killing time until the book signing too? That's incredible. I didn't know anyone else my age really even read his work, since everyone says it's so long and boring, but I think he's a genius, and I'm sorry, I got so excited. Would I like to go get coffee with you until the event starts? Get coffee with you? Like, together? But the juice boxes and the mess. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice you've been picking things up while I was rambling. It's almost done. I'm so sorry. I, uh, I guess as, a thank you, I mean, if that's what you really want, I suppose I could go with you for coffee or tea or water is nice. Uh, I'll just pick up these last few things and then we can go together. I like that. Thank you.